If you had the sum of the core values of Ton's community in a sentence, without using buzzwords, what would it be?
Fast, open, and very passionate. It's super important that builders are passionate about what they're doing and voice their concerns openly and are out there building and just shouting from the top of the rooftop.
One, two, three, let's go.
Hey Max, good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Gio.
I'm super excited to chat to you and get all the latest Ton guests on offer for 2026. Before we get into Ton, just to give people a bit of context, you have worked across several sectors, including various roles at Mercedes, some tech startups, and of course you are a co-founder of MoonPay. Now you are leading Ton Foundation as president and CEO. That's a pretty serious CV.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, it's been quite an interesting couple of years.
Are there any stories that you got from some of those past jobs that can help us learn a bit more about who Max Kron is?
Yeah, of course. I think a lot of people don't know about the MoonPay story and how MoonPay started. It goes back to about 2018. I came back from Brazil. I was living in Brazil for about 10 years on the beach, surfing, kite surfing in the morning, living the life essentially. No, all jokes aside. So I basically in 2018, I tried to figure out what to do with my life again. After 10 years in Brazil, I need to do something new and I wanted to go back to Europe because Brazil is beautiful, but it's very far away from everything else. And through mutual friends, they introduced me to a guy called Ivan at the time. He was living in London. He was an entrepreneur already. He had a startup. And so I flew to London, met Ivan in Soho for lunch, essentially, at a restaurant. And one of the things that's very memorable to this day is just how fast Ivan was inhaling food at the time. He was like hoovering it up, being a very hungry entrepreneur, basically working all the time, not having time to eat, sleep. And, he was even sleeping at the office at the time. I remember that. He was, proper startup vibes, no money, no funding at the time. And he explained to me what his idea was with MoonPay, essentially. In a nutshell, the idea was to make buying crypto very easy just using Apple Pay. That you have your phone, you have your app, you click, basically, and you buy crypto, which wasn't possible at the time. There was nobody else had the opportunity to do it. Nobody had the technology. And it's like, hey, this is great. This was the beginning of crypto, pre-COVID, obviously. So we spoke for hours and I really liked Ivan. And we were very complimentary. Ivan is the visionary, sort of great ideas, grand ideas like Elon, like Jeff Bezos and others. I'm more the ops guy to make sure in the background that everything works, to keep the engine running, basically. So all the balls he was throwing up, I was trying to make sure they don't drop, to set up all the relationship with the banks, the regulators, pretty much the card schemes, all the boring stuff, essentially. And then we had a third guy called Victor, French tech genius, essentially 22 years old. So he was the kid, I was the grandpa, essentially, because I was 10, 12 years older than he was. And it's like, hey, we can do this together. It's only two problems. No customers and no funding. Big problems. We tried to raise money at the time. Nobody's nobody believed in it, essentially. Yeah. It's very low valuations. And so it's like, hey, I had nothing else to do at the time. I was like, okay, this is a great idea. So I took the plunge. We started basically, Victor started coding. I started working, setting it all up. And Ivan went out there selling the dream and getting our first customers in, which happened in end of 2018 when Bitcoin.com basically gave us a chance, which was run by Roger Ver, which a lot of people in crypto know, sort of the crypto visionary, a bit of a rebel, and people refer to him as Bitcoin Jesus as well. He really liked Ivan. He's like, hey, I'm gonna give you guys a chance. You can go on Bitcoin.com and help our customers buy crypto easier. And ultimately, the only difference literally was to the incumbent at the time that he could customize the color and make it a little bit more easy to check out, but everything else was pretty much the same as everybody else. But he's like, hey, I can actually, use my logo, I can make it easier. And that's how we basically started MoonPay. Then,
now it's everywhere.
Now it's everywhere. We got a bit lucky with crypto and COVID, obviously, but now we have 350 employees, offices in New York, I think Amsterdam, London. We're just opening up one now in Berlin. I'm still on the board and very, very much involved. And, now, especially in the stablecoin industry, there's a lot of stablecoins being launched on MoonPay. So it's been an interesting experience so far. I'm very, happy to be part of the movement with it.
That's great. So you walk into this new role in the middle of last year, and suddenly you are living inside Telegram, memes, GIFs, Plush Pepes. What was the first moment you thought, okay, this ecosystem is definitely different.
I mean, it was interesting, right? It's like ultimately, starting to use Telegram more aggressively because I didn't know about, I didn't know about gifts. I didn't know about Pepe at the time, how Telegram worked. And it actually goes back to 2023 when Manny Stotz red pilled me, using the Matrix reference. It's like, hey, there's this great ecosystem. It's linked to Telegram. It's super fast. It's super scalable, great technology. But it's like, on paper, I'm like, this is an amazing investment thesis. So I actually bought my first ton in June of 23 and, I haven't looked back basically. And now now I'm here learning every day. The community want to be heard. They want a two-way conversation with the foundation. And, they want to know that we're listening and actually trying to improve the ecosystem and make it easier and better for them. And that's what we're here to do.
I want to actually say this because like it's hard to get response from a Tom Foundation president CEO. And I actually tried my chance one time, maybe like 2-3 months ago, and I wasn't expecting a response from you. And I want to thank you for that again because, saying it is not enough, but you have to actually show it. And I actually saw it myself, so I really appreciate it.
I'm trying. I'm still not responding to everybody. I'm getting so many messages because everybody can contact me on Telegram. There's no fees. There's no stars. You can basically send. So I'm trying to be responsive, and it's actually me responding. So there's no team who has access to my Telegram account and responding on my behalf. So it's actually I'm responding myself. So I'm trying, and if I don't respond in the first time, keep trying. At some point, whoever screams the loudest will basically probably get a response. So just keep keep sending it in, and then somebody will.
This interview will come. I get thousands of them.
That's okay. I might have to charge some stars for it now.
You're nearly a year in as CEO at Tom Foundation. How are you finding it? Has anything surprised you?
I mean, it's said like how active and the community is a big surprise, essentially. Like, obviously, there's some challenges with technology, which we're addressing, but the community really cares. And, this is, I think, really important to build out the ecosystem and to make Ton better and to get builders engaged and get people engaged, to get clicks, to get users, get the metrics up. It's really, fascinating to be, coming to work every day and seeing the comments in the morning come in and all the new things which we're launching.
That's great. How important is meme literacy for builders and leaders on Ton? What does it take to succeed?
That is the $1 million question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think meme literacy in general is super important. It's culture, right? I mean, memes didn't exist a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Same as NFTs didn't exist 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be, literate enough to understand the culture and understand the movement to basically, build products which will ultimately reach people and ultimately get to users and get to the consumer, essentially.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be funny, but you kind of have to understand that there's something out there to engage people. And I think the community is doing an amazing job. I mean, they're super fast, right?
We actually love to see a leader, owning and sharing stuff. Do you think we can actually see Max Kron in the same position of showing up for memes in the future?
I remember that it was a weekend and I'm like, let's post this. It's like, and I'll probably do the same, going slightly rogue. There was unscripted. There was like marketing teams like, what are you doing? It was like, why not? It's cultural. Memes are great. And it shows how people are passionate. So absolutely, I'll be supportive. Pavel Durov's girlfriend posted a picture of a lamb. Next day, there was a meme coin.
Yeah.
At some point I woke up and there was a meme coin about me, which was like, oh God, this is great. I mean, you don't know if you want to be flattered or shocked.
There's a meme coin of everything.
There's a meme coin of everything.
There's no barrier there, yeah. Right?
Which is today's world, right? I mean, ultimately, it's we live in the here and now, and right now culture is memes. Let's see what the next thing is. Like, hopefully, we're going to be ahead of the curve for the next thing, which we don't know what it is yet. But gifts, there you go. But yeah, for me, it's learning every day, right? I'm in my 40s, so different generation. So it's lifelong learning, essentially. I'm not involved in any meme coins myself, and never will be, because it just goes against the ethos of the foundation. But I will be supportive of the ecosystem itself.
We have to talk about this. You spent absolutely nickel last year, and a Plush Pepe just sold for almost $300,000. From your perspective, did this growth come out of nowhere, or do you think this is Ton's culture working as intended?
Plush Pepe. What rarity is this? Do we know the color combination? No.
But I don't know about this one.
Ultimately, I think it's a lot of hard work and dedication over time to get it to the stage we're at. I bought mine about a year ago for a couple $100.
Yeah,
So I'm a proud owner, which I'm not going to sell it. I think I get offers every day, some cheeky ones. I will not sell my Pepe. And it's how culture works, essentially.
Yeah.
People believe in it. Same with the NFT movement in 21. Crypto kitties, crypto punks, bored apes. They were all started out of out of a movement, out of an idea. Were given away for free, and then people were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars because they were believing in it. So I love that we have this on Ton, and it's a very cool icon. And how many are out there?
There's 2,800 of them.
Only.
Yes, and there's 1 billion Telegram users. So
upwards from here. So we should do a prediction at some point. Will Plush Pepes go up higher in price in the next
some
6
people
months?
say 6 figures soon, but I'm not sure.
Amazing. Well, I'm very happy that I own one. It was $30. Some people might see it as a failure, right? But if you would have stopped there, you would never get to $300,000 in a cultural movement. So, be passionate and, get a good team. It's really important to surround yourself with people who are positive and who believe in the same thing you're believing, and everybody works in the same direction.
I want to ask you this. What is the main differences between the 2021 NFTs culture right now if you compare them with Telegram gifts?
The 21, at least from my perspective, the
Yeah.
21 is mainly PFP, so it was very static.
Yes.
You basically bought it, so it was like sense of belonging and sense of community, but it's like you just bought it and you had it, you were displaying it. Now gifts, I think it's much more, it's much more embedded within Telegram and Ton. You can send it to people, you can show your appreciation to people, you can, show how your feelings are, you can buy certain things.
Build your collection.
Build your collection, and you can flex it in your profile that people can show, can see what you have. So I think it's very different now, essentially, and it's very unique to Telegram and Messenger apps as well. Like even as like somebody told me in Korea, for example, there's a different messenger where people flex stickers. Depending on what sticker you have better dating prospects because it shows that you have access to certain things and it shows your status, which is very similar to gifts as well. It's just super easy within Telegram to send them, even put them on chain, off chain, and it's a culture movement which is very unique to our ecosystem.
I also want to ask, how do Ton-based Telegram gifts fit into the bigger picture for creators on Ton?
Ultimately, I think it's an important tool for creators and for communities to basically grow their user base. So there's gifts, which is very unique to Telegram. I think, Pavel was pioneering it even from his previous days to basically create gifts out of nowhere and make it a cultural movement and make it super relevant. And what we're trying to do, with NFTs, essentially stickers and so on, to get communities to engage. Like there's a lot of interest from, sports teams, from, brands to basically engage with their communities through Ton and through Telegram. So essentially, like every time you explain how this works to somebody in America or even, sports leagues, like think college football in America, it's like, hey, the college football, you can have your community in Telegram, you can monetize it through Ton, you can, send stickers, you can send NFTs, maybe you can even do gifts in the future. I mean, there's huge potential and opportunity there to basically grow the ecosystem and just, connect creators, brands with their fan base, with their users, with the customers, and go from there. So I'm super excited about what can be in the future there.
We also had like many IPs actually coming to Telegram,
Yes.
as you just mentioned, it's very important. If you had the sum of the core values of Ton's community in a sentence without using buzzwords, what would it be?
Top of my head, I can think of 3 things essentially, fast, open, and very passionate. I think passion is super important, that builders are passionate about what they're doing and, voice their concerns openly and are out there, trying and building and, just shouting from the top of the rooftop.
Ton's big annual event is Gateway during the first 2 days in May. How will this year's event reflect where Ton is headed?
I mean, I think ultimately you have to come and see for yourself. I think ticket sales are open, as you said, May 1 and May 2nd, just after token. So it's in Dubai, obviously, straight after another big crypto conference. In a nutshell, I think we're focusing more this year on builders and on creators. We're trying to make it a real developer-led event and not just a conference where you pick up free merchandise. But ultimately, buy your ticket and hopefully we'll see you in person.
Love that, love that. I also see that you guys give more power to creators, as I see myself here. Thank you so much for that.
Creators are important, right? Without creators, what is an ecosystem essentially? You have builders, they build things, but creators also create.
Yes,
And that's how you get users, views, and create culture. I mean, without creators, there would be no meme coins.
that's true. Love that. Thanks so much again. Gateway is a celebration of Ton's community and the builders, developers, and creators shaping its future. What is the biggest opportunity for creators on Ton in 2026 and why?
I think, together with Telegram, I think the biggest opportunity is that you can own your own audience, that you have a unique mechanism to go out there, reach your audience, speak to them, do live streaming, and there's now ways to monetize it through Ton as well, through
I did
tipping.
it. Last 2 weeks, I made like $3,000. Shout out to everyone supporting it. But yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah, and I think
getting better.
unlike other platforms, you can tip people, you can send crypto. It's a start. So you have, own your own identity, own your data, own your crypto. It's like digital ownership and freedom, essentially, is what Pavel Durov, his big vision is. And between Ton and Telegram, I think we can do the same thing. So creators should come to Telegram and obviously Ton to go out there and build their communities.
I think definitely. And also I want to add this, it's not optional anymore. For brands and creators, they definitely must be on Telegram. And there's also, on X for creators, as I'm one of the creators that grinding for my brand. And it's definitely hard on X right now for the algo. But Telegram has no algo. And you can just build your audience, reach them out easier. I think that's one of the most powerful thing that Telegram got right now.
And I think people don't know about it. Like if I speak to brands, they don't even realize that you can have communities within Telegram, that you can basically reach your people. And a lot of brands are coming over from Discord as well into Telegram. They're coming from X, which basically will help increase user numbers and ultimately the usage of Ton. So I'm super excited about the creative industry because it's today's world. Everybody lives on social media in one way, shape, or form. So we have to be there, and I think we have all the building stones to get it right.
You're a great entrepreneur, and I want to ask you this. If you start right now on Ton and Telegram from zero, what app would you actually build?
For me personally, given I have a payments background, I would look at the payments vertical to pick a country or pick a geography which is underbanked and has issues essentially. Like there's a lot of users in certain emerging markets within Telegram, and use the blockchain technology, use Telegram's distribution to basically solve a problem from them.
We have seen many builders come into Ton over the past couple of years, but some of them seem to have challenges. How are you addressing them?
Head on, to be honest, and I'm first out there to admit that we had our challenges. The chain, it broke at some point. There was complaints that the documentation wasn't good, that there were too many programming languages, that it was too complicated. So it's like a lot of issues reflect in the past where we made it incredibly difficult for people to build on Ton. It's like everything was different. It's not EVM based, and it's one of the things why I took the position and why the board appointed me to lead the foundation to start fixing these things. And we're doing exactly that right now. We fixed the programming language. We are doing a new developer portal. There is a new AI bot coming, or it's actually even launched, that can interact with builders to answer questions. We're making documentation, we're making it easier. And there's a lot of things now planned for Gateway and to the road to Gateway, which we will announce, which will basically address most of the issues we had in the past, from speed to scalability to ease of use. So you just need to stay tuned essentially over the next couple of months and also come to Gateway, and you'll see what we have planned.
I also want to ask you this. There are a lot of builders, developers on Ton ecosystem. What could be the advice for them from your perspective?
Like ultimately, believe in what you're doing, and be stubborn, be determined. Like when we started MoonPay, we had no money, we had no funding, we had no customers, and it was tough. Okay, it's like you have to just reinvent, and looking back, it's like I wish we would have innovated sometimes a lot faster. Try it out. If it doesn't work, pivot, move on, try again. And just keep trying.
Love it. Ton has basically embedded wallets, payments, and identity straight into an app people already use every day. Are we already on the road to having a super app with Telegram?
I think so. Like, I think, there's always talk about super apps. There's a super app in China called WeChat. There's an app called Lime in Korea, which people use. And there's Telegram. And I think Telegram has a global distribution. And, people will live within one application where you can make payments, you speak to your friends, you send your gifts, you hold your digital collectibles. You can buy your SIM card, you can pay for a taxi. And I think super app is the future essentially. Like, why do you want 15 apps on your phone? Like, even if I look through my own iPhone, got a lot of applications, and I even like sometimes forget what they were for. Like the other day I was pressing an app, didn't load, and like, why do I even have this? But if it's within Telegram, you sort of use it, right? So it's Telegram is building the messaging app, and I think Ton, if you want to use a metaphor, is sort of the railware network powering all the applications in the backend, basically. So I think it's a nice synergy we have between the two to make it count. A lot of guys in the United States have no idea. There's like, hey, you have a wallet within Telegram. They're like, what's that? So normally when I meet people, I'm like, hey, give me your Telegram username, and I send them 1 ton, for example, and they're like, oh, this is great.
Looking ahead to 2026, which verticals are you most excited to accelerate within the Ton ecosystem?
Like ultimately, like within Ton and in general, I think it's boils down to 2 or 3 main topics. One of them is prediction markets. It's the hottest topic out there right now. Various companies are pushing different products and to make predictions from elections to sports to if Bitcoin goes up or down, what the weather will be tomorrow. So I think it's another cultural movement, basically.
That would be nice to predict where Plush Pepe will be at, where Ton will be at.
There can be predictions like, will Plush Pepe, will the next one be sold for 400,000 by February 28th, for example. So for me, native prediction marks within Telegram and Ton is super exciting, and I know some projects are already building towards that, so they actually will use it to make predictions within Telegram itself. Right now, they're just using the messenger and bot to basically show predictions, show payouts, etc. So that's the one. Second one is obviously payments. Given my background, payments is my passion, and blockchain technology just enables so many new opportunities, from stable coins to remittances, spending crypto on a debit or credit card, peer-to-peer payments, which you can do within Telegram. There's neobanks coming up every day where you can basically build a whole banking infrastructure essentially on blockchain. And you don't need old school fiat rails and all the complexities, especially in emerging markets. A friend of mine, he started, outside of Telegram, he started many years ago a neobank in Argentina because there was, 90% of the population had no bank accounts there. And it was very difficult because the regulator and so on. Now with blockchain, Telegram, Ton, to build these applications is a lot easier than it used to be. And I think the last one is AI agents and AI agents linked to crypto payments. Like, to quote Zizi in Davos, it's like, AI agents are obviously here to stay for the future. And if they want to make payments or tasks on your behalf, using cryptocurrency is much easier than traditional banking. So, having an AI agent linked to Telegram, Pavel announced Cocoon, obviously. So there's an AI agent within Telegram. So you have Telegram, you have an AI agent, and then you have Ton or stablecoins on Ton to power the whole thing, which, for the next 12 months, I think will be the 3 main themes.
I want to highlight one more thing about Cocoon, that it's actually private AI that covers, like the privacy, the security, everything for Telegram users. Pavel also mentioned on one of the speeches he gave, he said, if we implement another AI in Telegram, it's not going to be really secure for Telegram users, but instead they are building their own private AI company, and which is, I really love it.
No, of course. And also,
on another level.
Like this, you can, ensure, freedom of information and privacy, right?
Yes.
Privacy is the biggest thing. If you follow X, there's big debates. Is Signal private? Is WhatsApp private? Is Telegram private, essentially? So I think privacy is it's another huge topic. So let's make it 4 topics. Privacy is also big for 2026.
If Ton succeeds at the scale you are aiming for, what does Web3 look like in 2 years that most people aren't prepared for yet?
Hopefully, we're not talking about Web3 anymore. Basically, imagining a world where things just work, right? Ultimately, it's like if I were to explain Web3 to my mother, it's like I call it the mom test. She'd have no idea, oh, what's a seed phrase? What's a wallet? What's crypto? Ultimately, it's like, it's a world where everything we basically talked about will work seamlessly, without all the complexities. So you don't have to, log into a wallet. You don't have to take your ledger out and make this very, sort of complicated. So exactly. It's like ultimately, it's like, do you want to know how the sausage is made? Ultimately, no, it just needs to taste good and needs to work, right? Maybe call it Web 5, who knows? So ultimately, ownership is going back to the ethos about freedom, financial movement, owning your information, owning your data. And so you can own your Telegram username.
For builders and creators deciding where to spend the next year, Ton or somewhere else, what's your message to them?
Ultimately, believe in us. We're here, we're listening, and we're improving every day. If you want an ecosystem which is passionate and has the biggest distribution, I think Ton and Telegram are the only places to be. There is no substitute out there. There's no other blockchains out there which have the reach and the distribution what we have.
Great. Please tell everybody where they can find out about Gateway and buy tickets.
Gateway, our annual event. If I'm not mistaken, it's ton.org/gateway. It is May 1 and May 2nd. Super excited for everybody to come and buy tickets. The event will be different this year. It is more focused on innovation because we have a lot of upgrades, a lot of really cool things to announce on the road to Gateway, and just basically show it during Gateway. It's about creators, it's about builders. So we want people to come, creators. We have an innovation studio. Obviously, it will be a stage with, panels and keynotes, but it's really focused on, the ecosystem itself and what the future of Ton will be. So it's not a normal conference where you just go and pick up your swag and go from booth to booth. It's about, builders, creators, innovation, and just showing what Ton can do in the next several years.
I definitely think this one is going to be much better than the previous Gateway. Thanks so much for your valuable time, Maxron. And I want to thank all the Ton Foundation for giving me this opportunity. I'm really blessed and grateful for you all.
Well, thank you so much for coming from Turkey, from Istanbul here to Dubai to see us. It was a great pleasure doing this interview. And I would like to thank you and the community for sticking with us. And hopefully we see you all at Gateway.
I will be there. Thank you so much again, guys.
Thanks, guys.